Hey guys, welcome to another video. Now, if you're in college and you're looking to make sure that you can pay your own tuition, you can be anywhere in the world and this applies. You can be in India, you can be in the US, you can be anywhere in between. This will apply and you will be able to pay your own tuition. In this video, I'm going to be telling you 7 such ways that you can use to make sure that you earn a good buck in college itself. So whether you're an undergraduate student or a PhD, this is something that we can all use. All right. And even if you're out of college, these are some of the things that you can use outside of college as well. So without further ado, let's get started and give you those 7 ways. Number 1 way, guys, and this is how I also started my own journey, of course, as most of you know, is by starting a YouTube channel. Now, when I started a YouTube channel, money was probably the last thing on my mind. My parents were supporting me and I was kind of okay with that because that's how things are in India. But when you really get out of this bubble and you see other countries, students try to support their own education. Their parents usually do not have huge college funds. Some parents do, but most do not. So it's really important. Starting a YouTube channel can make you a fair amount of money. We can say $100, $200 per month, but it also depends on where you are. Okay, geographically, what kind of content you create, what kind of ads your content runs, all right, and how fast you grow. So all of these things will come into the picture. I would say that YouTube is a great way to earn, but it's not going to give you money in the short term, because even before you start earning, I think you have to put in at least 1 or 2 months of work. And depending on who you are, maybe it can take you 5 months, maybe it can take you 3 days. It completely depends on who you are, what you do, and how much audience is interested in watching you. So probably not for the short term, but yes, for the long term, YouTube pays you. And secondly, it helps you build a community, which you can monetize later on. You can try giving out products and services to this community later on. Okay, so that's number 1 way. The number 2 way that we're going to be talking about in this video is to invest in the stock market. Now, this is really making money from money. Even if you have $100, trust me, it is really easy to get started with the stock market. Now, the only thing over here is that you must learn first, because a lot of money, they will just enter the stock market. They probably do not care about money, or they're just overconfident and they end up losing money. And then they never really go back to it. But trust me, it's one of the instruments that not only will you learn, but at the same time, it's gonna go with you for life. For life, you'll learn how to invest in stocks. So make sure to pick up a good book. Make sure to paper trade first. And trust me, more important than books is really to start trading, and more important than books and courses both. So just paper trade. And what I mean by paper trading is, there's a lot of websites you can search on Google for paper trading, but it really means that you are investing in real stocks, real time, with fake money. It's not your own money. Okay, so a trading view is one of them. You can use that to your advantage. You can paper trade. You can invest maybe $100 in Tesla. You can invest $100 in Amazon, whatever you want, right? You can invest it in any country with trading view. And then you can check out how things are going with your money on a daily basis whenever the market is up. Isn't that cool? Do that for the first few weeks, and then when you're good at it, when you're able to make sure that you're consistently profiting, maybe for a month or 2, you can start with real money in the real markets. Okay, that's something that we all should do. We'll go on to the next method over here. So number 3 is food delivery apps. Now, whichever country you are in, whether you are in the US, you will have Postmates. If you are in India, you'll have Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats. If you're in Europe, you'll have Liferando. So there's all kinds of apps out there depending on where you are. But what these things do really is they help food get from the restaurant to the person who's ordering it. And this is really where you come in. Now, this is really where you do not need any skill. All you need is a bicycle, and all you need is to register with one of these applications, and then you can start delivering food from the restaurants to these people. All right, it's really as simple as that. And trust me, if you don't really have a skill, or you need money on a very short-term basis, you just need it right now, I think this is probably one of the ways which will give you a quickest return, because you don't really have anything to learn in this scenario. You just need to navigate from one place to the other, and that's all you need. So make sure to consider this. I know a lot of people who do this on a daily basis. They study in the day, and in the night they're delivering orders. Yes, that happens all the time. I really think that it's a great way to earn. The next thing is, and this is probably the most important one I can give you over here in this video, is freelancing. Okay, now freelancing, it's not something that is very hard to do. Even if you have basic skills like Photoshop, or designing or maybe web development or coding, you can really just go ahead and get started, and you can provide your services to people on some freelancing website. You know, you can even manage people's social media. There's all kinds of things you do. And if you don't really have a skill, by the way, and you want to learn it, these are the skills that you can go ahead and learn within 1 or 2 months. You don't really have to spend a lot of time on it. But the one mistake that people do, and this is a lot of my friends also made, I'll tell you what, they go ahead and they purchase courses online, whether it's from online millionaire coaches on Instagram or it's from websites like Internshala, Udemy. They go on and purchase courses hoping that they will be able to get something out of this course, or maybe, you know, they will be able to get a certificate that they can show somewhere. Trust me, no one is going to ask you for that certificate. Not your first client, definitely not your employer, and no one really cares about that certificate either. So try to stay away from these scams. Everything you need to learn for freelancing, whether it's web development or it's managing social media or it's content creation, whatever it is, you can just go ahead and learn it online. Within 1 or 2 months, everything is available for free on YouTube. So make sure to do that. And once you're done, I have a list of websites over here that you can go ahead and list yourself in. Okay, that hey, I'm a freelancer, I'm looking for work in this field. Okay, and the people who are looking for freelancers like you, well, they will select people. And once you build a good reputation for yourself, you will definitely see good results come in on a daily basis as well. So a few of these websites are Fiverr, they're Freelancer, Upwork, and People Per Hour. There's definitely a lot more out there, but these are my favorite ones, so you can go ahead and check them out, register for free, and just start offering your services to people. Okay, and the good part about this is maybe someday you can go ahead and create a career in freelancing, or you can just be freelancing for a long time, or maybe it can be your side hustle even after college. So these things are definitely something you should remember to do and build a career in freelancing. I think that it's in 2021, that's something that is imperative. You should definitely go ahead and consider this. The next method, and this is number 5, and this is Skillshare. Skillshare teaching. If you learned a skill, let's say you learned how to use Photoshop or how to use Premiere Pro, something like that. Now you can use that knowledge, or maybe you even worked for a few clients, you can use all of that knowledge and you can share that on Skillshare. You can become a teacher, share your knowledge with the community, and it's just like YouTube. You again earn every single month from Skillshare as well. So make sure to consider that as an option. The next option that I'm going to give you is Chegg. Now, if you're someone who's really good at STEM, maybe what STEM means is science, technology, engineering, and math. If you're good at one of these fields, well, you're in luck, because there are websites like Chegg where students pay Chegg to basically hire people and answer their questions. So maybe someone has a question about chemistry, they're posting it on Chegg, and they're a paid member. Well, what you're going to be doing, this is where you come in, you answer the questions for Chegg. Okay, and Chegg pays you about maybe somewhere around $1 per question, depending on really what kind of questions you're answering, what the difficulty level is, and then basically you get paid again. So if you answer 10 to 20 questions per day, that's a pretty good income right over there as well. Okay, so yes, keep that in mind as well. That's one of the other ways. And now we'll move on to the next way, and that's creating your own startup. This is the way number 7, guys. Trust me, this is what I did also, and this is what I highly recommend for the long term. In the short term, it probably may not give you the kind of results you're looking for, but in the long term, starting your own startup can have tremendous advantages. And the best time to start one, I think, is probably when you are doing your undergraduate degree. You know why? Number 1, you have nothing to lose, because even then your parents are already paying for your degree. It doesn't really matter if you fail. It doesn't really matter if you fail. Maybe you can start another one after that. Maybe you can start another one. I personally failed 2 startups before, and I'm doing my 3rd one right now, and it's doing well. And all of these I started in college. You can do that too, okay? And you always walk away with some experience. There's nothing to lose over here, guys. Okay, so number 1, you have nothing to lose, and number 2, it's really cheap to get started in college. Now, unless you're doing some sort of merchandising or setting up factories, well, you really can start working online, and you can really maybe start by building off your website or doing something that maybe creating an online presence, marketing. Well, all of these things you can do online very cheaply. And you know what? Today, running a startup, I know that one of my biggest expenses is resources, and resources are people. People are not cheap nowadays, right? And it's so easy to find people who are highly motivated and they're willing to work for free with you, and they want to come together and maybe work on a startup idea with you. Maybe they believe in your idea, and maybe you guys can think of an idea together, right? And you guys can start working on a startup. And trust me, I know friends who have done that. I know other people who have done that, and I've done that personally myself as well. Startups actually are one of the best ways to go, right? You set your own price, you set your own things. There's a lot you have in control as compared to freelancing. And I would say that genuinely, maybe you can even build your own career in this field after you set up a startup. Okay, even if you are maybe three months from graduation, I would not take out this option. I would consider this, and I would really put my time on this. Now, one thing to understand is while this list is pretty great, it's definitely not exhaustive. There's probably a million ways to earn cash. There's all these ways that I haven't covered, but the thing is, these ways are something that I wanted to make sure that as many of you watch it, it applies to your lives as well. Okay, now there's ways that may require you to have a PhD in chemistry, but 99% of the people watching this probably don't have one. So I understand that, and these ways are just not so exhaustive. That's what I'm saying. If you have a specialty, maybe you are really bulked up, you're good at the gym, maybe you can start coaching clients for gym. So it really depends on who you are, what your personality is, what your situation is, what your circumstances are, where you are, what the supply and demand is in that place. Based on that, you can start building your own community, your own startup. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you think that the information I gave you is valuable and this is all from my experience again, you can give me a thumbs up, you can subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me again. Goodbye and take care.